Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to start this show off by letting you guys know that the documentary that Brad Combs and Dustin Plantholt did, it's called Cryptonaires, and although I wish I had something to do with it, but I don't, these guys did a documentary and they've been talking about it for a good while now, and it just came out, and so I wanted to make you aware of how you can go see it. It's cryptoperformance.io is the website. You can go to this website and you can watch it. I'm sure they'll probably be putting it on YouTube at some point. But I wanted to show you a couple of clips that I really liked from this. But right here, just so you know, this is the website. But I wanted to show you a couple of clips that I thought were good from this. Watch this one.
It was very unclear back then what the trajectory of Bitcoin would be. It seemed like maybe it only would appeal to a certain set of people. I think most people that were involved in it from back then were kind of surprised at how quickly it kind of took off and gained attention, and came up with the idea that led to Ripple. And so I started Ripple in I think 2012, something like that, 2013, something. And then hired David Schwartz and Arthur Brito, and then later brought on Chris Larson to be the business side of it. Usually I'm technical side of these things and have someone else help me on the business side. And the relationship just wasn't right, and I couldn't really work with them. So left Ripple and was going to do something else completely different, but still thought that this basic idea that we had was really good and compelling, and the world really does need this universal payment network, and started Stellar.
So I thought that was a really cool clip. Now this one also is really cool. I want to give a shout out to Coining 203. He's an old school XRP guy. He's been on Twitter for a long time. I want you to hear his story from the documentary, because this is what it's all about. This is what excites me about this. This is what I got in this for. This is what is the opportunity that I saw, the same thing that happened to him. Now, I think he had a lot more guts than I did back in the day, but the same kind of thing that happened to him is the same experience that I have had, and I can't say I've enjoyed every minute of it, but I can say that it's been one hell of an exciting ride on this roller coaster, and I wouldn't change anything for anything. Wouldn't change it. So listen to this.
And XRP just stood out. And I said, you know what, this is gonna be huge. And then XRP does the run to, I think, 28 cents. And I'm smoking a cigarette at the time, and I'm just looking at my account, and I'm like, is this for real? This cannot be happening to me. I mean, to me, out of all people, this cannot be happening. I take $40,000 of just savings that I had, and I'm like, Hail Mary, let's go. Yeah, Hail Mary, just 40 grand, just Hail Mary, let's go. I'm swapping into XRP December 9th, and I put it into XLM, awesome. And then it just kept going. It just kept going, and it hits 384, I think it is. This is Coining 203, and I just got one thing to say. What are you waiting for to become a Cryptonaire? I did it. I'm living proof of it. It can happen, and it will happen.
I thought that was just an inspiring, awesome clip. And this is the actual movie, and again, it's cryptoperformance.io. And I'm just telling you, I'm 31 minutes into it. I'm going to finish watching it after I do this video, but it really is good so far. And I'm not just telling you that because these guys are friends of mine. They did a great job on this. I'm pretty impressed. And by the way, not only did they do a great job, but they have some of the most prominent people in crypto in this video. They've got Jed McCaleb, as you saw. They did Charles Hoskinson's in here. They've got Justin Sun from Tron, Catherine Coley, who was the Binance CEO. Chris Brummer was in there from, this is just what I've seen so far. Chris Brummer, who's with Georgetown Law. You've seen him in all of the, he's done interviews with, he did an interview with Jay Clayton. He's done one with Brad Garlinghouse. I just thought it was an outstanding job so far. And I'm 30 minutes into it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to finish watching it after this. Dark Defender, this is after this whole market collapse, and I wanted to check back in with these guys. He says, I make money when all is in fear and panic. I buy. When all is in euphoria, I sell. Did I sell yet? No, not yet. My targets are pending. In other words, he stands by all of his targets, and his targets go all the way up to $13.33 because we've covered them. Did I buy today? Yes, and so did I. Did I buy? Do I buy if it goes down again? 100%. All in fear, buy. All in joy, sell. I totally agree with that. Then Crypto Bull came in and said, XRP update, even with all the red in the market today, we haven't broken trend. Okay? So then Michael Arrington weighed in today and he says, XRP is no slouch either. Despite an all-out attack by the SEC on Ripple, XRP has largely shrugged off the drama. It rose 160% in Q1, matching Ether's spectacular rise. So you can kind of see that my sentiment matches up with those three tweets I just showed you. Michelle Vandenberg, and this is my favorite tweet that came out as a result of this market going down, from Kim.com, who's one of these genius tech guys. Crypto is exciting, a modern-day Wild West gold rush, the internet bubble 2.0. Few cryptos will grow to be the giants of our financial future. Most will never leave the nursery. The hype, the pump, the tribal extremism, the laughter and tears embrace the epic blockchain journey. I think that this guy said it better than anybody I've read today. This journey, there are all kinds of emotional ups and downs. But isn't that what's going to tell the story when this is all said and done? We are living something that I don't think that most people will get to live for 100 years. And then Mr. Wales showed all of the exchanges that went offline. Coinbase, Bitfinex, Binance, Kraken, Gemini, CMC, Bittrex, KuCoin, Huobi, CoinDesk, all went offline, probably just a coincidence. Now, you got to see this. I want you to tell me who you think he's talking about here. Well, actually, we'll get to that. He mentions Ripple here, then I'll make a comment.
Okay, so one of the reasons that Bitcoin is down the last couple of days is because of people's interpretation of the Chinese government's being believed to have said we're basically banning crypto. So you could get a lot of clarity and price stability by just knowing that the US government wasn't going to ban crypto. And this was a point that I made when I was still in government, was to say, nobody's going to ban Bitcoin. All right.
He makes an excellent point there. You got to ask yourself the question. Our leaders in government could easily walk to the microphone. Gary Gensler could walk to the microphone. Janet Yellen could walk to the microphone. The President of the United States could walk to the microphone. Any of them. They could walk to the microphone and they could easily say, we're not going to ban crypto, but we're going to put together some thoughtful legislation to try and protect investors. The reason they don't do that is because it's never been about protecting investors. If it was, you wouldn't have a Ripple lawsuit. If it was about protecting investors, they would have already gone to the microphone and said that. If it was about protecting investors, Gary Gensler would have given everyone who are the investors that he's supposed to protect some indication of how he's going about protecting we XRP holders. He hasn't. He didn't drop the case. He hasn't given us any indication about even how he feels about it. I don't feel protected, and you probably don't feel protected. But that's the problem with some of our government agencies now, is that there's all kinds of political agenda going on instead of protecting investors and people like the government is supposed to do. They're not looking out for our interest. They're looking out for political interest, and that's the problem.
$1 trillion asset class in crypto that's not going to go away. So let's start by saying it's okay to be in the asset class. And then what somebody needs to say is, if a crypto token is a security, for instance, that doesn't mean it's illegal. It just means that, like other securities, there are certain disclosures and registrations that have to be made.
Ding, ding, ding. Why haven't they said that about XRP? They could easily set people's minds at ease. They could even tell the exchanges. There's no reason, because in the documentation they have said, in the legal documentation going on in this lawsuit, they have the SEC has said that they've not actually come out and said that XRP is a security. Well, then why not tell the exchanges that? So they can go back to listing XRP. They don't want to. Why do they not want to? Well, they're certainly not protecting you and I.
Need the SEC to create a pathway for that to happen. And if you think about the Ripple litigation, Romaine, people wouldn't be in a panic about it if, in the event Ripple lost, they could simply register the token and trade on the securities exchange. The problem is that hasn't been allowed yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
this guy is so good. He's one of the good guys, and I wish he was back.
Be banned. I mean, that's a fantastic point. There is concern here that China may not ban it, but it may compete with it. The U.S. may not ban it, but it may tax it into oblivion. Was there a concern there?
That sounds like something I've said on this channel. And Brian Brooks is about to say something else that I said yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's always a concern, but again, that's not just about crypto. So when you think about taxing things into oblivion, you know, we have an administration right now that's talking about imposing a capital gains tax higher than the income tax. That will kill the stock market. And yet again, nobody's asking if equities are going to go the way of the dodo, right? We have high tax.
I said that on this channel, go the way of the dodo, just yesterday. I'm not saying he was listening to me, but as you know here, there's no coincidences.
Periods of country and low tax periods, asset classes survive. Americans are highly ingenious at finding ways of creating value, and that'll happen with crypto too.
Now, there was one more clip that I wanted you to hear from Fudd Fit. Listen to this, and you tell me who you think he's talking about.
So that's why at the OCC, we really focused on the idea that some of these networks are payment networks. They're being used by companies to transact value from person A to person B. So they should be regulated like SWIFT and the automated clearinghouse, right? It's very easy to understand that. So
I wonder who he could be talking about there. Okay, and now I want to play, this is a great clip from this Dave Portnoy guy. This guy is a trip, but he makes a really good point at the end. I want you to listen to this.
Are you doing, look, I think Musk is manipulating the market, and I think you're doing exactly the same thing. What do you say?
I wish I could do it to the degree that Elon does it. The difference between Elon and I, you can't put us in the same breath. He's a monster. Is he goes back and forth. I don't do that. Like, I wish I had his power. There's no doubt he's manipulating it, and I wish I could to the degree he does. But the thing that I think is frustrating for a lot of people is 1 second Elon will say Bitcoin's great. The next he'll say it's bad for the environment. The next he'll say he's saving it. Then he says he loves Doge. Then Doge is good for the environment. Tesla's overrated. Right. So if you're following a guy who's going up and down, that would be what's frustrating. With me, you know, I'm always saying it's going up, Stuart.
But it brings the whole market, it brings all cryptos into disrepute if their value, their price, depends entirely on what a celebrity says 10 seconds ago. I mean, there's a generational thing going on here. Older investors want to see some value, they want to see some profit. But younger investors, they seem to be just looking for the next headline from a celebrity.
Yeah, listen, I think what you just said is right, but I think it's wildly disingenuous to say that if some bozo from Merrill Lynch doesn't go on to CNBC or Fox Business or whatever and say, hey, we like this stock, not always with the best info for their own purposes, that doesn't move a stock price, just like how if I say I like SafeMoon. This is just a different version, but let's not pretend it doesn't happen with normal stocks either.
Well, he makes a very good point there, but it's even worse than what he just said. Let me tell you how bad it is, because I was there. I was a financial advisor back in the day. Here's how bad it is the financial advisor, the brokerage firms are also investment banks. So the investment bank can underwrite a company to go IPO. They can hand out, they can let all of their wealthy clients and their institutional clients get access to those IPOs. Then they can turn around with their brokerage wing and start selling it to their the retail side of their business. Now you tell them, and then they can put out all these reports that are saying, oh yeah, here, this is a strong buy and all this, and they can give all their reasons. That's completely legitimate. But someone who's educated on Twitter, what's the real difference? I would bet you that Elon Musk is more educated than half of the guys that are putting out the strong buy reports, right? And then to make matters even worse, we saw this in the movie, the Big Short. They went to the S&P 500 and they said, wait a minute. So you guys are rating these same investment vehicles for these investment banks, but they're paying you to rate them. And the woman literally is saying, well, I mean, if we don't rate them the way they want, then they'll just go down the street to the other ratings agency. It's like, it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. It's a rigged game, and everybody knows it. And these guys now have the gall to come and act like Elon Musk is doing something wrong. Elon Musk is just giving his opinion about things. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it that way. Now, finally, I wanted to show you this. This is from Chris Larson. Congrats to Ethereum. Great news for the planet and for Ethereum. Will more proof of work based assets make the switch? There is something going on, folks. I like what Chris Larson is cooking here in the kitchen, because this right here is where the smoke is right here. I'm telling you, this proof of work thing is headed for disaster, and it makes you wonder if Ethereum is going to be the last one that's allowed through the door, because I don't think that Bitcoin can do anything about being proof of work at this point. And I think that that's why all these Bitcoin maxis go nuts to protect the precious Bitcoin and will not talk about all of these things. It's going to be very interesting, like what Kevin O'Leary was saying. He said that this would all come to a head. I think he said in Miami, there's a Miami Bitcoin conference or something. That's what I'm looking at. That should be very interesting to see what comes out of there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that Chris Larson is right over the target here. Will more proof of work based assets make the switch? Thanks for listening.